Hello everyone. We're about to start the process of creating a JetNet gradebook using weighted means. Okay, the first thing that you need to do is to go to the Jackson College website, and then you need to click on JetNet Online Classes. Okay, next we have our login. You use the same username and password that you use in order to access your email. So I will have, let me sign in. Okay, now after you press login, you would look to the left here and you would choose the class you want to create the gradebook for. So you would click on the class, and then you would get this screen. Now on this screen you need to scroll down until you get to the word settings. Now under settings you need to go to grades. So you would click on grades. Okay, now what will come up is your gradebook. It will have your class roster, and also it will have the email addresses of your students. Now, one thing you need to realize is this here. You do not have to add in any students' names. That is already provided to you by the college. So now we need to set up our categories and we need to put in our grade items. So we will click on categories and items. Okay, now when you come here to this page, you notice under name you will have the name of your course. Aggregation, you should hit the down arrow and go down to weighted mean of grades. Next, you should have this box checked here which says aggregate only non-empty grades. What that means is this here. If you do not add in a grade for a student, it will not count it against their grade. You know how we like to go in and put in assignments before we actually grade them and put the grades in. So by clicking this box, it would not factor this into the final grade of the student. Okay, so now we have our course total. Now you have to make sure that your course total is 100. If you do not put your course total as 100, then your grades will not show up correctly. Okay, so now we're going to add a category. So we will click Add Category. And the first category I would suggest you do here is, it really doesn't matter, but I'm going to put in homework. Okay, for your aggregation, you can hit the down arrow and click on Sum of Grades. Okay, now we can click Save Changes. The next thing we would do is add another category. I'm going to use this as exams. Click the down arrow, go to Sum of Grades, and click Save Changes. Now, of course, you have more categories than this, but for the sake of time in this video, I'm just going to do only 2. Okay, now, on your screen, I need you to check this because I'm using the demo course. Under extra credit, if you have boxes there that are checked, you need to uncheck those boxes. Again, if you have extra credit and you have boxes that are checked, you need to uncheck those boxes. Okay, now, the next thing we want to do is this. We have our homework, sum of grades, but we have our weight. Now, let's say we want our homework to be worth 20%. So you would type in 20. And let's say that we want our exams to be worth 80%. So you would type in 80. Now, one other thing that we need to make sure that's checked is this aggregate only non-empty grades. So we would check those values. Now we will click on Save. Save Changes. Okay, now our next step, we want to add in assignments under these categories. So we will click Add Grade Item. Okay, so let's just make this very simple. First assignment is homework number 1. Now, one thing that I like to do just to keep up with attendance of your students, whenever I give an assignment, I like to put the date behind the assignment. So we will use today's date, which is August the 20th. Now, the maximum grade, since we have the weighted grade scale, we could leave it as 100 because it will be under that particular weight. Okay, now the parent category. What we need to do is click the down arrow and make sure that your homework assignment goes under the homework category. And we will click Save Changes. Next, we're going to add in another grade item. Now, let's add in another homework assignment. We'll put homework 2, and we'll use the same date, today's date, which is August 20th. And we'll click our down arrow and go to homework and press Save Changes. Now, we want to add in 2 more assignments. We will go down here again to add grade item. We will add in, let's say, exam 1. And we will click our down arrow and click on exams and click on Save Changes, because we want to make sure this goes under the right category. So we'll add another grade item. We'll type in the name. We'll make this exam 2. And we can also put in the date. The date is August 20th, 2013. Now we'll click the down arrow, click on exams, and click Save Changes. Okay, now what we have our categories, we have our grade items, and we have our sum of grades. And remember, with our course total, it must equal 100. Even if you have to type it in, you must make this equal 100. And then also, remember, under extra credit, now if you see here under extra credit, you see these check marks. You need to take these check marks off under the extra credit, or it will not read the grades correctly. So now we will click on Save Changes to make sure that this is saved. And now we will go to the grade book. So we'll go to View, and we'll click on Grader Report. Okay, now the grade book shows up here, but we need to add in the grades. So we will click on Turn Editing On. Now, once you turn on your editing, you can start adding in the assignment grades that you have for your students. So I'm going to do maybe the first 3 students. So homework, I give 100, an 80, and a 90. Now, if you want to tab down, you could press tab, and that would take you down to the next person. So I just go with 4 people. So I make this a 56. Okay, now I'll go over to the next column. I'll make this 100, tab, 75, an 80, and a 65. Okay, now one other thing that you need to know. On your grade book, is not going to total your category total. This is still going to be blank, but I'm going to show you what you need to do with the category to get the total. So do not type anything in your category total. Okay, now exams. Like this first exam 80, second exam 100, third exam a 90, and fourth exam a 50. Go to the second exam, we have 75, 95, 88, 76. Okay, now to get your course totals, you must scroll down and click on Update. When you click on Update, your category total will show up. So make sure you click on Update. Okay, now let's go and check the students' grades. So we will go here to User Report and click on User Report. Now, what you need to do here, you will click this down arrow and click on All Users. Now, when you scroll down here, it gives you your grade, the grades out the class that they got on their particular assignments, and then it also gives the percentage. Now, the percentage would tell you under course total, it would tell you what percentage they're getting out of the class. Like this person has an 82%, this person has a 93.50%, and you will mark your grades as such. Now I do have average showing here, which doesn't necessarily show on your grade book. This is just the average everyone got on that particular assignment or that particular category. And that would show for all of your students. But if you don't want the average there, you do not have to have it on your grade book. Now, one other thing I want to show you. Right now, we're done with the grade book. So you could turn it off right now, and you should be able to set up a grade book with the weighted mean. But if you want to know something about your settings, now click on settings here. And if you scroll down here to user report, this describes everything here that you want to show, what you want to hide. Just like this here. If you do not want to show the class average on a certain assignment, you could click the down arrow and you could go to hide, and that will hide the average for the class. If you want certain things to show, like the weights, you could click the down arrow and click show so you can see the weights for each category. So we could click save changes. We'll press the down arrow and go to all users. Now, we scroll down here. Now, if you look here, now we have this. We hit the weight. You notice that the average is not on here. Now, we do have our 20% for the category totals for the weights. And then we also have the same score for the class, which is 82%. And this is basically it for the grade book. Again, I have to reiterate, if you were just wanting to set the grade book up without, all of the extras that I just showed you, you can stop basically after 10 minutes. You do not have to go to the settings portion in order to set up your grade book. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you.